Across the country are remembering astronaut John Glenn. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan ordered the flags at the U.S. Capitol to be lowered to half staff. We have a live look there for you tonight.
Glenn became a national hero in 1962 when he became the first American to orbit the Earth. He died in Ohio today at the age of 95. The Marine colonel had a huge impact on the space program and on Space City.
Channel 2's Brandon Walker is joining us live now from the Johnson Space Center tonight with reaction from some of the people who actually knew the astronaut. Brandon?
Yeah, Lauren, quite a lot to say about John Glenn, a lot of reflections, too. Among them, we heard from Chris Kraft, who for years worked as director here at Johnson Space Center. But early on, he and John Glenn were among the first people who were charged with figuring out this idea called space exploration.
I knew John as a test pilot before the space program.
Chris Kraft had a front row seat to the early days of American space travel. Much of that time spent as NASA's first flight director, in charge of mission control when John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth in 1962.
That's my favorite picture, though, right there.
On his wall, memories of the past, including a pen worn by John Glenn during his historic voyage. He and Glenn kept in touch over the years. They last spoke 6 weeks ago.
He told me that he was in bad shape, and he was very unhappy about his lack of physical capability.
John Glenn died today. He was 95 years old.
This man devoted his life to his country. Not very many people do that.
Well, I knew him from those early days.
William Taylor, too, worked with Glenn. He still works at NASA after 55 years.
I supported him with their audiovisual stuff, their slides and this, that, and the other, showing it to the groups.
During that time, Taylor got to see Glenn interact. He had a way with people, Taylor says.
Believable.
Believable, humble, a hero, no doubt.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
And on this day, the day that became John Glenn's last, Godspeed, John Glenn, holds true.
A true American, just a great person to be around.
And Chris Cassidy, they're the chief astronaut here at Johnson Space Center. Glenn passed away, today at a hospital in Columbus, Ohio. He had been hospitalized there, we are told, for more than a week. We're live tonight from Johnson Space Center. I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2 News.